This segment of Naperville Sports Weekly is brought to you by BMO Harris Bank.
We're joined by Lauren Beaudreau of the Benet Academy golf team. Thank you for joining us, Lauren.
Thank you.
So in your freshman year, to make it to the state tournament, how big of an accomplishment was that for you in your first season of high school golf?
It was a really big accomplishment for me. I really felt like I played solid throughout the entire year, and I knew that I could make it to the state if I just kept playing the same way I had been throughout the season. So I had high expectations going into state.
And not only being able to make the trip to state, but playing as well as you did, shooting a 73 on both days, finishing 4th overall. What does that mean for confidence for you, knowing that this early on you were able to compete with some of the best golfers in the state of Illinois?
Well, I didn't play my best at state. I just played solid, and it was a really big confidence booster for me, knowing that I was able to be competing with these girls coming down the stretch of the final day, even without my best game. So knowing what I have to improve on for next season, I think I'm going to be in a really good place.
Just spoke with Coach Bremner, and early on in the year you were able to win the McGonigal invite with lots of golfers from the Naperville schools and some very talented golfers in this area. What did that mean for you early on, knowing that one of the first tournaments you played in, you were able to get a win and really kind of establish yourself that you can play with, you know, anyone in this area?
Well, the confidence came from the day before when we were at Coyote Run Invitational, and I felt a swing key that really clicked with me, and I've kind of just kept using that throughout the season. And since the McGonigal invite was the second day, it just carried right over, and I continue to keep playing really well day after day.
And looking at the McGonigal invite and then sectionals in state, you were able to golf with Jessica Ewan from Neuqua Valley, a 2-time state champion. What were some aspects that you saw from her, you know, playing with someone who's been able to win the state tournament, that you maybe picked up and kind of added to your game, perhaps, if you saw anything from her?
Well, I've played with Jessica even before state and sectionals. We've played in other junior tournaments together, and a few years ago I saw that how consistent she was, and that's over the past few years, that's what I've really been working on, because anyone can get hot and have a great round, but it's making those bad rounds average rounds instead of the blow-ups. And I saw that in order to win state or any of the tournaments to get there, you have to have a certain level of consistency. And I definitely felt like I had a more consistent season than I have ever before.
And you talk about consistency, and you mentioned that earlier in the year something kind of clicked in your swing. How much of that consistency goes into the physical aspect of the game, but then how much of it is on the mental side as well?
I would say it's mostly mental, because we can all hit, we've all hit this, our shots, you know, thousands of times, the same club, but it's taking certain situations and challenging yourself with them. So, you know, if I'm having a bad hole or I come off a bad shot, it's rebounding quickly to those types of scenarios so that it doesn't affect the whole outcome of the day.
Now, you're putting up golf scores that I could never dream of putting up myself as a golfer as well. When did you kind of get to that level of being able to put up such consistent scoring?
I would say the level of consistency came about 2 years ago. Before then, I was always have a really good round and then a not so good round, and that would always hurt me. And lately I've been able just to put 2 back-to-back good rounds together.
Looking again at the trip that you made to state, having your teammate Abby Bitto there with you as well, how important was it for you in that sense that you had a teammate there, you had some other golfers that you knew, and you weren't kind of just going into that by yourself?
It made the state experience much more fun. just because instead of thinking about, all of the rounds and all the shots I hit after each day, I was able to relax and enjoy some time with Abby, who's a great friend.
Performing as well as you did at state, what's that going to mean for motivation for you to come out in the off season and continue to work and develop your game and get that consistency looking ahead to your sophomore season?
Well, the way I played at state showed me a lot of what I need to work on and what I was doing really good. So during the off season, I'm gonna continue to work on the things that I did really well and then build my game up around the areas that need improvement.
How many times a week do you try to get out to the course to either play around or just work on facets of your game?
I would say I try to get out to the course around 4 to 5 times a week.
What are some elements of your game that really kind of came into their own this year, whether it be driving, your short game? What were some parts of your game that you were very confident in throughout the season?
Definitely my driving. I've always been a long hitter, but this season I've really gotten the accuracy dialed in, and not only I just hit it far off the tee, now it's in the fairway, putting me in good positions to make birdies.
Was there any particular moment from this season, individually or what the team was able to do at a tournament perhaps, that really stands out to you and was very memorable?
I would say Coyote Run, when me and Abby both medaled at that tournament, gave the team a lot of momentum heading into the rest of the season. And then the McGonigal tournament the next day, when we won that tournament, it just really gave a nice atmosphere for the team.
So despite the accomplishments then from regionals, sectionals, state, basically the first 2 tournaments of the season really kind of stand out to you, that really kind of just set the tone for the year?
Yeah, sectionals was also a really big for Abby and I as well.
And looking at sectionals, you were able to get to that 1-hole playoff and able to walk away as the individual medalist. What did that mean for confidence looking ahead to state as well? Did that kind of help lead to the impressive scores that you were able to put up?
I think it definitely did. I mean, playing with Jessica in the playoff, I knew that I had the game to win state since she had won it the past 2 years, and comparing my game to hers in that playoff, I knew that I was able to perform well under pressure.
Now, you mentioned earlier that your drives and off the tee is an aspect of your game that you just were great at all season long. What's an element of your game that perhaps you're going to need to work on for next season, or that you can get some improvements in?
I would say my wedge distance, because I've been so much more accurate off the tee now. I'm having a lot of short clubs into these greens, and I want to start converting more birdies instead of just pars. And when I start converting those, I think my scores are going to be so much better.
And coming off just a few days off the state tournament, got to still be very fresh in your mind, but even though it's very far ahead, how excited are you already for next season to kind of get back out there and try to make that trip to state once again?
I'm very excited for next season, because I just know that from the way I played this year at state, that I can only go in the right direction and improve even more, and I'm really looking forward for the opportunity competing next year.
Well, congratulations on a terrific season, and best of luck the rest of your tenure here, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you.